Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Minecraft Disney World. This week we're headed back to Epcot and we're going to be going over to the World Showcase, one of my favorite areas of Epcot, to look at two more of the pavilions around World Showcase. The two we're going to be taking a look at this week are Germany and Morocco. So let's start off with Morocco. Now, Morocco is an interesting pavilion in that it was the first pavilion in World Showcase to be added after the opening of Epcot. Epcot was opened on October 1st, 1982. However, Morocco didn't open until September 7th, 1984. So it sort of was the first example of this concept of expanding World Showcase over time. Now, it's not the only reason that it actually stood out. It was also probably the most involved pavilion when it comes to the host country. It was designed to look like a Moroccan city. It's got a realistic minaret, and the government actually aided in its design. King Hassan II actually sent Morocco artisans to Disney. He flew them over to Florida and he put them up so that they would live there and build and work on the pavilion so that, this pavilion would be built by actual Moroccans and it would be authentic and as close to the real thing as possible. It's also one of the few cases in which the government actually sponsors the pavilion. In all these other cases, it's companies from the host country, in most cases, who are hosting the pavilion. Now, the original design for Epcot was to have the government sponsor the pavilion. However, in a lot of these countries, because you have the changing of politicians and you have annual budgets, you can't have the sort of same multi-year or even in some case decade-long sponsorships that you typically have with an attraction at Disney World. It also offers things like a Fez House, which is like a house that shows you what a typical Moroccan house would look like. It's got a courtyard where a lot of entertainment takes place. There's like a belly dancing show and a band called Mo Rockin', which is just a play on, Moroccan. And another really cool fact about Morocco is that you can actually see the Tower of Terror in Disney's Hollywood Studios at a certain angle from the Moroccan pavilion. So from afar, you can see it behind Morocco. And what's interesting is, and I don't know if this was done intentionally or if this is just luck, but the top of the Tower of Terror is designed so that it sort of blends in with the Moroccan architecture. It's got a very similar style. Now, that could have been Imagineers really thinking ahead, or it could have just been pure luck. In either case, it's a pretty cool fact. And then the other country we're going to take a look at this week is Germany. Germany is actually probably one of my favorite countries. It was originally designed, it was going to have a ride similar to some of these others like Norway. It was going to have a boat ride that would go along the Rhine River, and it would focus on German folklore in sort of the same way that, the other countries focus on the history of their host country. The building was built, but Disney did not finish the ride on time, so they announced it as part of this Phase 2 expansion. And then what ended up happening was, to avoid the costs of actually building these Phase 2 expansions, they dropped all of the attractions, and they made this decision that they would only build a Phase 2 expansion attraction if the host country funded it. And again, this was the sort of thing where they were having enough trouble getting companies from the host country to fund this stuff. So that's why in a lot of cases you don't see attractions in these parks. You see like one in Mexico, you see one in Norway, but most of the time it's just something like a film, because the countries or the companies from the countries are only willing to put in so much money. So now that they don't have a ride there, that building's sort of used as storage. The pavilion also has a bunch of small shops. They sell little, German goods like many of the other countries there, including cuckoo clocks. And it's also got an extensive model village with these little model trains that will go around and, give you a taste of what the German countryside would look like. And like I said, it's got the beer garden, which is something that I love for, one, the amazing food that's fantastic, but two, because it is like Mexico, a pavilion that has an indoor location that is made up to look like an outdoor location. It's supposed to look like this German courtyard. I think it's sort of like a dusk atmosphere, and they totally sell it. It feels like you're in this nice controlled outdoor environment. It's a really cool feel. It makes for a fun eating environment, and it's definitely worth checking out. I mean, if you're going around the World Showcase, you're probably going to be stopping through Morocco and Germany anyway. If you're going to go around World Showcase, I highly suggest you stop at every country and check them out, because that's part of the whole experience. In any case, those are just 2 short looks at Germany and Morocco. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a little something. I hope you have a fantastic week between this video and the next. Whatever you're doing, make the most of it, because it makes it that much better. And I hope to see you all here next week for the next episode of Minecraft Disney. Bye, everybody.
Tiki-taki, tiki-taki, hoi, hoi, hoi!